Hi, welcome to the zoo, and we're your hosts, Caitlin.
And Josh Zaniga.
Hey, we're back. How's it going, Josh?
It's good. It was a good week.
Yep. So tell me, I don't know, a highlight for you.
I would say a highlight could be that Noah is more or less potty trained.
True.
Actually, we don't have to deal with diapers at all anymore. But
yeah, no, we said goodbye to diapers.
Yep,
Josh.
we said goodbye to diapers. It is significantly less fun cleaning up though when he drops a load in his pants than in a diaper.
But that's only happened twice. I'm super proud of him overall. I think he was just super ready to be potty trained. I don't know, because I've heard some parents say that their kids have been like really scared to get on the potty, hold their pee, don't want to poop, like so many, I don't know, just so many things. And so I was just super grateful that Noah was already used to going on the potty. He liked going on the potty, wasn't scared of it. He was super ready. So I don't know. We kind of did like the 3-day method that everybody talks about where you stay in your house basically and you don't leave for 3 days.
That part wasn't fun.
Yeah. So we ended up going to the Parade of Homes in Ogden up north. And so
This is before we potty trained.
Yeah, before we potty trained. And so we decided to do Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And because we went to the Parade of Homes on Friday.
So what did you think about the Parade of Homes? How would you compare it to the one that was closer to us? Because this one was the one that was like in Ogden when we went. We went to both essentially.
I think honestly, this one wasn't comparable to the other one. I think the Utah Valley Parade of Homes, right?
Yeah.
And this is like the Northern Wasatch Parade of Homes. I think a lot of people don't go. Not a lot of people don't go, but I don't think people go as often to this one just because it is farther out. We were driving a lot. It was pretty far. And we went all day and we did half of the houses. I think we did 9 out of the 18 houses with a toddler.
Yeah.
So that was pretty crazy.
We definitely we pushed it.
Yeah, I know you were kind of done, but I kept pushing you harder, huh?
Yeah, you do that.
Yeah.
When Caitlin gets in that mode of wanting to do something, she really wants to do it. And there's nothing that will stop you.
Yeah. I get so determined. Like if I have, I don't know, just something in my mind that I want to do and I'm already in the mode and going and we're already in it, I'm like, yo, let's just send it.
Overall, I felt like it was kind of lame. Like, I mean, the houses were nice, but it just wasn't on par with all the ones we saw in Alpine, Highland, Mapleton. Those ones were just, it was consistently houses that were over 6,000 square feet that were massive. But we ran into somebody interesting from my past, briefly at the Parade of Homes.
Well, actually 2 people that we knew. My cousin too.
Yep.
But yeah, it was a girl that you used to date, right?
Yeah, we dated for a couple of months.
Yeah. You didn't say hi to her though.
No, I did not say hi to her.
You were too scared.
I wasn't scared. I just didn't. First off, she'd never seen me with a beard because I was at BYU.
That's not a rule though at BYU anymore, is it?
Yeah, it is. It's still a part of the honor code.
You can't, for sure you can't.
Yeah,
at
you can't
all?
have a beard. Well, I mean, you can get an exemption if you get issues with your skin from shaving super often.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but fun fact about this chick, she was in Ogden. I was at BYU, and so I would drive up there. But her mom was kind of nuts. This makes me sound mean just saying that, but her mom thought I was a drug dealer. She didn't believe that I made that much money just during the summer. She thought I was lying to her daughter. Apparently, she'd never heard of door-to-door sales before, though. It was kind of a weird thing.
Dude, drug dealer is next level, though. I don't know.
And before people think that I just must leave a horrible first impression when I meet somebody, that I just come off like a drug lord,
Gosh.
I actually never met her. So the mom was pretty adamant about not wanting to meet me for some reason. It's just when I started dating this girl, her mom just didn't like me for, I don't even know why. I don't even know if we were ever in the same room. But her mom was just super, super controlling.
So you for sure never met her in person?
Never.
Oh,
not
okay.
once.
She just never even gave you a chance?
No.
Yeah.
And then her daughter would tell me things like that her mom was mad at me or didn't like a certain thing about me. Or
it's just funny to me though, your mom is mad at me, but she's never met me.
Yeah, I was like,
Like, what are you
I've never
talking
met
about?
your mom.
Yeah.
I'd like to. Usually I'm pretty good with parents, I feel like.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I was honestly pretty confused and annoyed by it, but that was actually why we broke up. We broke up. A big part of it was because of her
well,
mom.
how would that ever have worked? Like, that's super weird. I mean, I guess you could push through if you really, really liked somebody, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
she's a super nice girl. Her mom was just weird.
Yeah.
And I felt like there was like some weird enmeshment
Yeah.
thing. I remember like specifically like having a conversation with her where she kind of felt guilty for dating me because her mom didn't want me to. Like she felt like she was doing something bad. And it was like, I don't know if dating each other is supposed to feel like that, but
It's very weird.
yeah, it is weird.
Yeah, you're definitely not a drug dealer, but, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we'd probably live in a much nicer house if I was. Right?
Yeah, true.
Maybe we'd have a nanny
Nanny.
or I don't know.
Who knows? But no, overall, I liked it though. I just enjoy getting to tour the houses. And there's a blogger that I followed for a really long time. Her name's Cara Loren. And I'm pretty sure she designed one of the houses. I don't think that
Is she a Utah influencer?
Yeah. I don't think they like are going to live in it or anything. I think she just partnered with, I don't know, just one of the designers.
I wasn't super impressed with it. Like it was a nice house, but honestly, it was kind of boring.
Yeah, it was just what I thought though, because her style is really, I would say, the sad beige a little bit, like more of the neutral mom vibes. But it was pretty. You know, there were parts of it that were really pretty. But I thought, and then no, what was the house that we really liked? Because I saw my cousin, and she was telling me that their friends, I'm pretty sure, were the ones that designed it. It had like a really cool movie room, a bar, a pool. They had a lot of cool quotes actually that I liked, even though I know you don't love quotes in houses, but
Quotes are fine. It's just like what is it, you know?
well, yeah, you
Is
just
it
make
super
jokes
cliche?
about how, which is true. I mean, like at Home Goods and Marshalls and all those stores, there's always like
If it's
big
like
signs that
if
say,
it's like targeted to have boomer moms want to buy it, I'm probably like it's probably not up my alley, like when it comes to style.
well, because it's cheesy to you, right? Or what?
I mean, is it cheesy just to me? I just feel like it's cheesy.
Oh, really? Because I think some of them are like classy and cute. It just depends on the quote to me. But I don't know.
Gather,
Yeah, the Gather one's kind of,
thankful.
or like, I think it's a little bit just pointless if you just have a sign that says like kitchen, or you know what I mean? Like it's just obvious that that's the kitchen, or I don't know, things like that. But overall, it was nice. It was a fun experience. I think that we probably won't, I don't know if we'll go to that one again. I think we're fine to just do the Utah Valley one, but I do think it'd be fun to go to the St. George one, like I said, because my friend Catherine lives down there, and she was telling me that it starts in February, I think. So we could
nice.
go to St. George if we wanted to.
Yeah, I'd be down.
But anyways, I want to go back to potty training really quick. I follow this account called Big Little Feelings, and their course was the one that I studied before we potty trained. And then there was another book that I read called like, Oh Crap, Potty Training 3-Day Method or something like that. I think I read 2 different books and then that course. So I was prepared. Like I put a lot of effort into it just because I was really, really nervous. We didn't do because on the Big Little Feelings, they say for the first day, you're supposed to keep them naked. Second day was loose clothing. And then third day is when you introduce underwear, because they were talking about how children think that it's too similar to a diaper because it's tight, the underwear. And so, yeah, but we were kind of,
We didn't follow that.
we were kind of like, at that point, I felt like Noah was pretty ready to do the underwear. So we really didn't do the naked thing. And I think it was more like we were nervous because Noah has like peed on our floor before. And so I just felt like if we kept him naked the whole day, I was scared of what would happen, like the accidents and everything.
He also wouldn't stay naked.
Yeah, he doesn't like being naked. Yeah.
He doesn't enjoy it.
Yeah. So anyway, we skipped over that, just did underwear. But we have like really minimal accidents. Like we left the house for the first day yesterday. But yeah, luckily Josh was with me for moral support for the majority of the time. I just was so glad I didn't have to do that on my own. So I'm just saying, any wives that haven't potty trained yet and they just feel like they have to do it on their own, I say you rope your husband into doing it with you on a weekend, and he has to do it too, because I think it's just a lot to do on your own. But that's just me. Was it as bad as you thought? Like,
No.
you're fine?
I was fine going into it. I just figured if I'm playing the Vegas odds, I think that we were going to figure it out. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't super stressed out about it. I think the most stressful aspect of it was just keeping Noah entertained for 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much what I thought about it.
Yeah, so we had to potty train him because he's going to be starting preschool in August. And so I'm just hoping that he'll be accident free by then and we'll be good to go for preschool. I think he'll get it, don't you? Like fully by that time.
100%.
Yeah. All right, let's get into pop culture and talk about what we've been
Caitlin's
watching.
favorite subject.
Yep. So we've been watching The Bachelorette, and the new season is Jen. She's the first Asian bachelorette, which I think is super cool. Gotta shout out my Asians. Love them. They're my fave. But anyways, yeah. So I think she's Vietnamese, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's Vietnamese. Yeah, and so what have you thought of this season? Because you didn't really remember her from Joey's season, did you?
Nope.
Okay.
I did not remember her.
Okay.
She seems nice, and it's been fun watching the guys like fight with each other. That's the aspect of it that I enjoy watching.
Yeah.
Because I just think it's funny. It's interesting watching them like try to leverage position, with her.
Yeah. I think she has some nice guys though, some good looking guys.
Yeah. I think that Noah's brother was kind of annoying though.
Yeah. So Noah was on The Bachelorette and then also on Bachelor in Paradise. I think his last name's Erb, and he's engaged to Abigail, who is deaf. Anyways, they're a super cute couple, and they got engaged on Bachelor in Paradise. And so his brother Aaron came on this season, and he had to leave early though for, I think it was the Air Force, right?
Yeah, it was jet fighter stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, he didn't keep going with the season. But yeah, the thing that I thought was crazy with this season is they went international the very second episode, and usually they go international way farther down the line. So like this season, those guys are so lucky that they got to go to Australia just right off the bat, because I think the best part about being on The Bachelor or Bachelorette is that you get to travel, in my opinion, for free. Definitely our dream to go to Australia and New Zealand. I have one of my best friends lives there from my mission, and we talk all the time, and I just want to go so bad. I think you would love all the wildlife in Australia too. Like we would have so much fun, I think, going to, I don't know, the zoo for sure, but I mean, just seeing, I think, the wildlife too.
Yeah, I would definitely enjoy it.
But yeah,
I thought it would be interesting to try to figure out how to open up a pest control company there. I actually talked to a friend this last week who talked to me about some like experimenting that they've done with Australia.
Yeah.
And they said that it worked, like people bought, but the sales reps were distracted. Go figure. Like they just wanted to spend time at the beach.
Yeah.
And just hanging out. So it worked, but taxes were not fun when they were like came to like pull the profits out, because the capital gains tax, which is a tax basically on your profit. Like when you try to take money out of the business. Yeah. It's like 50%.
It's a lot more expensive there too.
Yeah, they're not as business friendly as America.
I figured
not at all. But I think for the novelty of it, it would be interesting for sure.
Because you missed that part of the episode. She did like a photo shoot with all the different animals, and she had like a koala. They had a super freaky spider, and it was so funny. The guy who did the photo shoot with her with the spider, his biggest fear was spiders. And so like all the other guys went, and he's like, oh, I'm going to get a super cool animal. I'm super stoked. He's like, as long as I don't get a spider.
And he gets a spider.
And I like, did the producers hear him say that and then completely plan for him to get the spider?
Probably. It's TV.
So the spider's just crawling up him, and like his face, like Jen could just tell he was terrified, and he's like, I got to do it for Jen. But I was thinking I would be pissed if I got the spider, because there were so many cute animals that they did, and then that one was just freaky. But anyways, I think their dates have been super fun too. Like she went skydiving, which looked so fun. They did a helicopter tour through, I want to go there, the 12 Apostles in Australia.
Which is a cliff.
Yeah, it's like a cliff range that, looked so pretty. I think this season, though, has been really, really good. I like it. So I'm trying to think who's my favorite right now. Do you have a favorite guy?
No.
You actually like Devin, though, right? They're like trying to paint him as the villain.
I just don't hate Devin.
Yeah.
I like that he gets under the skin of those guys. Like, I just think I think that they're stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
I do think the guy, is it Sam from, it's like South or
Sam
North
from
Carolina.
Carolinas,
Yeah.
yeah.
I do think he's a little bit too much. Like he just keeps saying, I have it in the bag. I'm going to win. And it's like, dude, I don't even know if he's been on a one-on-one date with her, but, oh, that's what was the funniest part was the Thunder Down Under. Dude, come on. It was funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
Dude, that was freaking funny.
I may have been on my phone during that part a little bit.
I was actually talking with my cousin who just went to Vegas, and she was like, we always make it a priority to go to Thunder Down Under. And she's like, but you're married, so you probably can't do that. And I was like, actually, I just talked to Josh about it, and he said he supports me if I want to go.
Yeah, I mean, do your thing, I guess.
Well, because I'm going to Vegas soon to visit one of my friends, and it's just like a little girls' weekend. I'm super excited. And anyways, I'm staying with her, but we were trying to decide what we were going to do. And she was saying like she can get tickets last minute. The show she's trying to get us tickets to is Blue Man Group. Have you been to that or heard of it?
I've heard of it.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that's what we'll end up going to. I think Thunder Downer might be a little too much because my cousin, I think, went to like a bachelorette party and that's what they did. But I think we're going to go to Din Tai Fung, which I'm excited about because that place is super good.
No, they have one in Seattle, right?
Yeah, we went to it in Seattle.
But they have one in Vegas?
Yeah, they have one in Vegas.
Cool.
It was just cool when we went on our date there and like watching them make the dumplings. And
That's the one we went to with your mission friends?
yeah. And then the other shows we've been watching, we finished that barbecue cook-off show. I think it's the 3rd season that we watched, right?
Yeah, I enjoyed that show.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't watched that on Netflix, it's a really cool show. They have the same host from The Circle, right? I don't know. She's funny. And then there's 2 other hosts, or no, judges, right? That are like famous in the barbecue world. And then it's basically just a barbecue cook-off, right? Oh, I mean, the whole time.
It's like just a competition where they, work their way through until they pick the last one.
Yeah. So anyway, that was super fun. Kind of reminded me of my dad because my dad loved barbecue and cooking. And if you guys are looking for a show, that one's a good one. And then we just started Too Hot to Handle, the new season, which they only came out with like a couple episodes. I think there's more to come or whatever. What have been your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think it's interesting. It's fun to watch for sure.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that this season they switched it up and they do like a bad Lana and a good Lana. And then they brought 2 contestants back on to the show, Louie and Flavia. Is that right?
I think.
Yeah. It's entertaining. It's kind of a trashy show, to be honest.
It's definitely trash.
Yeah. It's reality TV trash, but it's entertaining. So I'm trying to think if there's any couple that I think could actually work out. Cause we were just talking about how there was one couple from Too Hot to Handle that just had a baby together. I think it's Emily, which was crazy to me, that somebody actually worked out from that show. I think they're the only ones though that I know about that, I don't know, are still together. Oh, my favorite girl is the one that Louis is dating. What's her name? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Ah, dang it. She like just barely went on a date with a guy who we were saying just looks super, super young. He looked like a baby compared to her. I can't remember her name though. It's going to bug me. Anyways, it's funny though. It's a good show. Do you want to talk about the meal plan that you just started doing?
Yeah. I feel like you and I are both like trying to lean into some more fitness stuff and like taking care of ourselves that way. For me, if I have a goal in mind, it's really hard for me to stick to food unless like a meal plan, unless I just have it done. When I try to make the foods all myself with my own meal prepping, like I do well for a little while, and then the hassle of cooking kind of gets to me. I just like don't find enough time to do it or whatever, it's super hard. So I decided that I'm going to try and follow this meal plan, but I'm also going to use this company called Nutrition Solutions, which like makes all the meals for me. And I feel like they've been really good, a lot better than I was actually expecting them to be.
The one that I had today was so good. Like the best one that I've had. You said that the company's based out of Tampa, right?
Yep.
And is he a bodybuilder or?
I don't really know.
Okay.
He just looks like he does steroids. Like for sure
Okay.
does steroids.
Okay.
He's jacked.
But you said his company, I mean, it's a $1 million company, right?
Oh, it has to be like a multi-million-dollar.
Okay.
I would be surprised if he does less than 10 mil.
Okay. So they ship out all over the US, you said. The one that I had today, and Noah even ate like 4 bites of it. It was steak, mashed potatoes, and zucchini, I believe. But it was so good because it came with a chimichurri sauce that you put on top. And then I put like a little bit of A1 on the steak, and it was amazing. It was so
Dude,
good.
I'm down.
Yeah, I think you'll love that one because we've tried a few. We've tried Fed Up Kitchen in Utah, which I think is actually really good.
Yeah, they're good.
But I felt like with this company, Nutrition Solutions, I felt like the flavoring has been really good.
Yeah, the flavoring and just like the quality of the food is different than other ones that I've tried. And we've tried 1% Fitness. We've tried Fed Up, and it's just not the same. It's not the same quality.
Yeah.
And I think that the variety of the meals and like the recipes is way better.
Yeah.
It's like way better. The menu changes every single week. It's not just ground turkey, you know?
Yeah, it can get boring, I feel like, with meal plans for sure. But it was funny, like you said, they gave you a sample of the protein donut.
Of like a protein donut.
Yeah.
Yep. And it was super good, the first one that I had. Then I get home and you tell me that you guys ate the donut that I got this week.
Yep. So Noah, we open up your meals and he's like, oh my gosh, Mama, a donut. And I'm like, Daddy's going to be mad if we eat it all. And he was just like so determined to try it.
Was he convincing you to let him?
Oh, for sure. It was a Reese's donut and it was super, super good. I think it was like 21 grams of protein, but Noah ate the entire thing. Like he was obsessed. Dude, he has a sweet tooth. I'm like most probably toddlers do, but I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Dude, no, he's like a crack fiend for sugar.
Yeah, it did scare me a little bit because like the potty training course tells you not to give them rewards, but we kind of decided we were going to do rewards because we just did. I don't know. But now I don't know how to like...
Because we're softy first parents.
Yeah, I don't know how to wean him off of the treats now because now he thinks every time he goes poop, he gets a sucker. And I'm like...
Just throw them away.
I'm like, that's a lot of suckers. Yeah, so...
It's like 4 or 5 suckers a day. Our kid is really regular, like more regular than like most kids. And it's kind of a problem. It's why we were so afraid of potty training him for so long.
Yeah, and you know all of our poop stories that we've shared. So that was the scariest part. But we won't get into that again. But I would say a highlight for me today, I actually went to a cycling class for the first time with my cousin Ryan. She's an instructor it's called Rideology in Sugar House. But I've never done cycling before. And so that was super cool. I just decided to do this trial for this app called ClassPass. And you can try different workout classes in the area. So anyways, that was really hard. I'm so tired today from the workout. So anyway, but thanks, Rye, for a awesome class. It was just cool for something different.
I know like all the things that we're talking about for listeners, it might not sound super cool, but we kind of recently, like all these things cost money. And we recently were able to give ourselves a raise from our Seattle branch, which has been super nice. And I feel like honestly pretty freaking deserved. Like it's been 4 years and now we're able to do a little bit more fun things. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Something like meal prep or, because I'm sure cycling, I don't think that like cycling memberships are cheap.
Well, I'm not signing up yet, but yeah, I don't even know how much it is a month. Like specialty classes like that though, like CrossFit, cycling, they're always more.
Or Orange Theory. Orange Theory was insane.
Yeah, Orange Theory is expensive.
Like real expensive. And they would like stick it to you if you skipped a class.
Yeah.
Which I think it's absolute money grab.
$10 if you miss a class.
I thought it was 15.
No, I think it's 10.
And then the proprietary armband.
Yep. You got to get the armband.
That's like $115.
Yep.
I remember how much it was.
I do love Orange Theory though. I just like needed a break from Orange Theory for a little bit. It's been really hard for me to work out this pregnancy because I was super sick in the first trimester. And anyways, I just needed a change and to switch it up. So I'm just doing this for now and then we'll see. But
that's cool.
I don't know.
Caitlin, you're in pretty good shape though. Like I feel like you're in our relationship, you're consistently I would say that you're the one that's like in better shape usually, especially when it comes to cardio.
That's nice. I feel like, I don't know. I try to be consistent. I feel like I've been pretty consistent though, since we've gotten married. I mean, and I was really proud of myself for running a half marathon, like when we were married and I had a young kid, you know.
I've never ran more than 5 miles in my life.
Yeah, it was hard. And that was my 4th one, but I don't know. I always say I'm never going to do another one. And then I somehow sign up for another half marathon. So we'll see. But that one in Washington was definitely the coolest one I've ever done though. It was so pretty because it was in the Snoqualmie area and it was, just so pretty. Just super lush and green. And I loved it because it was flat the whole time. It wasn't, a super intense incline. But anyways, yeah, I do really enjoy working out. I feel like I feel so much better when I do. And I do like going to classes because I like having it kind of set out for me and then I don't have to think about it. Just as a mom, it's been easier for me. But, you know, everybody does what works for them. So, okay, so I went to this new Asian market that just opened here in Utah. I think I went there in Seattle with Ashley. Because I believe it's like one of the biggest Asian markets across the US. It's called H Mart. And so I want to go there with you though, because there is a boba place right in front of it. And so I didn't get to try it because, well, I tried their milk tea as a sample, but they were out of boba when I went. And so anyways, I want to go back with you because you like boba, right?
Yeah, I like boba.
So anyways, it was super cool experience though. I paid $20 though for mangosteen. So that was a little bit steep. I'm not going to lie, but I was so desperate to have it because I haven't had it since my mission and I love it. So it was good. I feel like you liked the mangosteen the most,
Yeah,
right?
it was good.
Yeah. And
I
then,
did not like jackfruit.
Yeah, but I felt like that jackfruit wasn't the best.
It just smelled weird. Like it had a weird smell, weird texture, just like, not in like the taste in my mouth was really hard to get out.
Yeah. I feel like it's not even close to the texture and smell though of durian. Like that one is super whack. But
like I don't even know what the taste of jackfruit's supposed to be. Like it didn't taste sweet.
Yeah, I think that one just wasn't super sweet though. But normally it's supposed to be pretty sweet.
Yeah, like aren't fruits supposed to be sweet?
Most of them. I mean, some are sour, I feel like.
Okay, but like sweet and sour, like those are so like near each other that they're kind of like they're cousins. You know?
I guess that's true. Anyways, my favorite thing that I haven't had in a long time, I think it was actually from New Zealand, were the golden kiwis. I think those are better than normal kiwis. I thought they were super good. But anyways, I basically just got fruit. I got a really good drink. And then they have these little choco pies that I had in Cambodia that are really good. And then I want to go back with you though and try a couple things. Oh, and then I got us ramen, but it was really spicy. Like you couldn't even finish it.
Yeah, it was too spicy.
Yeah. I finished it, but it was even spicy for me and I love spicy. So that was intense.
So fun fact, we actually service the H Marts in Washington.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, they're Zunax customers.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Yeah, that's what I thought because I'm pretty sure I went there in Washington. Their produce section was incredible. Like I think it would be cool if I cooked you Khmer food again. Like I haven't done it in forever, but it would just be
really good the one time you did.
It would just be cool to go there and get Cambodian stuff to cook with. So anyways, it was a really cool experience. So if anybody wants to go to H Mart, hit it up for an Asian cool experience. Okay, so this is super exciting though. We wanted to share where we're going to go on our babymoon because we had put a poll on our account, just kind of like ideas of, you know, where we were thinking about going. So I think when we put it on our story, it was almost tied between Egypt and St. Thomas, which is funny because we decided to not
do any of those.
Do either, yeah.
What did you think though? What did you think about Egypt?
I mean, it is super intriguing to me. It was fun watching that YouTube video with you about the guy who climbed, what was it again? The video that we watched?
I don't think he climbed anything.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, Mount Sinai.
Yeah, Mount Sinai. Yeah. That was super intriguing to me to watch him do that because that's where Moses received the 10 Commandments, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like,
that's what
really,
they think at least.
Yeah. I was really wanting to do that after I watched that video.
Because it wasn't as long as we thought it was going to be. It was like a 3-hour hike.
Yeah. And then it was just hilarious watching that guy sit on a camel because it was so bumpy. Like it was just hilarious to watch. So, I mean, I think it'd be so fun to ride on a camel, go to the pyramids. I felt like Egypt from his videos looked pretty dirty, you know, in spots, but I'm sure there's like a lot of areas that are super pretty and cool. So I was a little bit overwhelmed just because I'm pregnant and that just seemed like a very, very intense vacation that we would have to plan, you know?
Yeah.
So that was kind of where I was at. And then it also just sounded really hot. But I don't know. I felt like we both just have had really good experiences with cruises. And so I just thought maybe it might be easier to go on a cruise because it's already planned for you. So that's what we decided. We're going on a cruise. And do you want to tell them where?
Yeah. So we were looking like in that general area and then the idea like around Egypt and then this idea of like, I wonder if they do cruises in the Mediterranean because we were looking at Nile cruises. And then that kind of transitioned to Mediterranean cruises. And so we ended up settling on doing a 9-day Mediterranean cruise that starts in Venice and goes over to Greece.
Yeah, so I think we're going to go to Slovenia, Croatia, Greece, and then end back in Italy.
Yep.
I'm super excited. I can't even believe it. Like, I'm still in shock that we're
Yeah, it
even
definitely
doing
doesn't
that.
feel real.
I'm just so excited to experience Europe for the first time with you. I just think that's going to be so memorable and so cool. And I just have dreamt about going to Greece for a really long time. I feel like a lot of people that I've talked to have said that to me. Like, that's kind of a dream vacation for them. And a lot of people, just because, I don't know. I just think Greece looks really, really fun.
It really wasn't like a part of the plan for us to just go send it somewhere like that big. I feel like there was like probably like a 90% chance that we just stayed somewhere domestic, like somewhere in the States. I felt inspired to want to go somewhere kind of exotic because of a reason Caitlin doesn't want to tell you, which has to do with our daughter's name. And it reminded me of something really cool. And she's probably mad that I said that, but
I think it's really cool. Like you said, someday to tell our daughter, like while I was pregnant, we got to take this vacation. You know, it's just,
and it just like reminded me of her.
Yeah, it's just special. But I'm not mad. I just don't want to share the name yet that we chose or that we're thinking about, because there's a chance we could change our minds. And I also just want to keep it a secret for the most part. So
do you feel like girls are like that more than guys?
Like keeping the name secret?
Like if a couple decides that they're not going to share the name, whose idea do you think it usually is to not share it?
Yeah, probably the girl, I would think. I'm not sure. I don't know. I think probably because girls get nervous that it could get taken by someone else. And guys just don't think that way. They're like, oh, you even said that. You're like, it's not going to get taken.
It's a pretty unique name.
Yeah, but you just never know. I just know a lot of people that I follow, they say that, like, until I see my baby, I just want to make sure that the name fits. And if I say it before, like, what if we changed our mind? And then people are like, well, why didn't you name her that? You know?
I definitely don't think we're changing our mind.
You just feel so good about it that you're like, it's happening for sure.
Well, when you first told me it, like when you first told me the suggestion, it just felt right.
Yeah.
Like I feel like her name was like kind of picked out.
Like when?
I don't know. I just feel
In
like it was
another
like
life?
I don't know. I just feel like it was like a meant to be name. Like
Yeah.
I feel like Noah's name, he was meant to be named Noah for some reason, you know?
Did you feel like that when I told you I liked Noah?
Yeah, we both. I can't remember. Was it you or me that said Noah?
It was me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We liked it. And I feel like it just, like, we knew he was going to be named Noah quite a while before he was born.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It just felt like right for our family. But it was just interesting when I told my mom, she said she felt the same way about our daughter's name that we like. So it was just cool. Kind
It's
of
a
like
very adventurous name.
confirmation that maybe, like you said, it was just meant to be. So I do kind of think that maybe God puts names or thoughts into our mind that maybe like would fit that child, that they're meant to be that.
Well,
I don't know.
we know that he's done it in the scriptures before.
Yeah. It did kind of feel that way to me, that I felt prompted sort of to kind of hear that name and then ask you. I don't know. So it'll be cool.
Did you know, this is something that I learned about fairly recently that was super, super interesting. It's like how important names are. If you were to take all the names of like the 5 like Abrahamic prophets and take the meaning of each of their names, it actually like forms a sentence. Like the meanings, like you can conjecture like a message from the order of their names.
Oh, wow.
And then I did it with my family's names all the way back from like to the grandpas that I can remember, and did it, and it meant something too.
Oh, wow.
I can't remember what the meaning was for the Old Testament ones, but it was super interesting. I did, though, look up just now on ChatGPT, looked up the meanings of my great-great-grandpa through my dad, through me, through Noah, and you can take the meanings of those names and you can form a sentence from it. So my great-grandpa's name, or my grandpa's name was Juvenal, which means youthful. Francisco, that's my dad, it's free man. Josh was my name, which means the Lord of salvation, and then Noah is rest and comfort. And if you were to create a sentence from that, it would say, the youthful free man finds rest and comfort in the Lord's salvation.
That's cool.
Yeah,
like
isn't that kind of cool?
Yeah, that's nice.
Random, but cool.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to end the episode talking about this. So I came across this girl that I follow on TikTok. Her name's Noelle Bybee, and she had made a TikTok that was a little bit older, I think in 2022, talking about the icks of Mormons and just like what LDS people say that give her the ick. But she's an active member.
Okay, so she's the one that's getting the ick from these.
Yeah. So if you have any thoughts or like more that maybe you get the ick from that you can think of, but there's just a couple that I wrote down that she had talked about, and I was just thinking it'd be funny for us to talk about it. So
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so the first one she said is that there's no happiness outside the church. That like true and only happiness, the true and only church is in our religion.
Those are two different things, though. Did she say that?
Yeah, like she talked about the true and only church, and then there's no happiness outside of the church.
But those are two different things. Are they two different icks, or is she claiming that that's the same ick?
I don't know. Just your thoughts on that. I don't know.
I think that it's super important that we recognize that the church has never once said that there's no happiness outside of the church. Like, that's not something that's taught in church.
But I have heard that there's not true happiness, like true, deep happiness.
Okay, which apostle said that?
I don't know.
Like, which prophet said that? I mean, like, where does it, which church manual says that?
Well, I've heard, I can't remember who it was.
I think that the people that are saying that, I think it's a generational thing, and I bet you it's just a bunch of boomer bishops or boomer moms that are frustrated that their kids are leaving the church that are saying that. I don't think it's the church, and I think it's super important that we differentiate a difference between the culture of LDS people and what's actually taught in church, because there's a separation there. There's a difference.
There was an apostle, though, that did say, like, if you left the church, where would you go? Like, there's no other place you could go that is...
I mean, maybe I need to read that talk, but my impression of that was that he was referencing Christ and your covenants with God.
Could be, yeah. More on that topic, though, for me, I just think that there is so much happiness to be found in this world. I mean, in many religions. And so I just think that God wants his children to be happy, and that's his number one goal, right? Is that we're happy and we're striving and we're living our best lives.
I think that you and I both believe that.
Yeah, and so I'm just saying that we totally believe that there's happiness outside of the church. And do we believe that we have a fullness of the gospel and that it truly does make us happy for what we have and the knowledge that we have through the Book of Mormon and the things that the restoration brought forth? Yes. But I don't think that it's just only true happiness being a member of the LDS faith.
Yeah, I mean, happiness is an emotion, and it's not like anybody claims that Mormon people or people of our faith have a monopoly on a human emotion. I honestly think it's like I don't know. I get what she's saying, but I think it's kind of a dumb way to say it. Like, I don't know. Maybe that makes me sound mean or rude, but I've never heard somebody say that we have a monopoly on a human emotion of happiness. I think if we're talking about like somebody who leaves the church, that they're not going to be happier outside of the church. I think that is that like what she means?
Probably more leaning towards that. Yeah.
Okay. So no, if somebody doesn't have any reference point of ever being in the church, like, that's just a weird thing to say.
I think you can feel a difference, though. People have even said this about, like, I follow them. They're the Arnold family, and two of the daughters were on Dancing with the Stars, and they're LDS. And anyways, people just have talked about how the sisters are really bubbly and kind and have a light about them, you know? And I think you could say that, though, about a lot of different religions. I think just, like, striving to follow God and being a kind person and, you know, these things, I think you do stand out when, I don't know, you're just looking to better yourself, right? And you're looking to serve other people and you're trying to be like Christ, right? And so I think there is a differentiation that, like, people in the church might have. But I think that there's a lot of probably Christian and just really good people that have that same light too.
100%.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I feel like maybe I sounded like a little aggressive with my answer, or like, I don't know, but our church is a multinational church. And I think that what she's describing is something that's not church wide, and it's a cultural thing. maybe I need to watch the TikTok because I don't know if she's like trying to critique the church or critique the people. Like there's nothing wrong with critiquing imperfect people.
Yeah.
You know, I think that more often than not, when somebody says that to somebody, it's because they care about them and they're worried.
Yeah.
I don't know. Every time I've heard somebody complain that somebody said that to them, I felt like the person that told them that was kind of desperate, you know?
Yeah, maybe. Okay, let's go to the next one. So she's talking about how when youth graduate from high school or people are of that age to either go on a mission or get married, people will ask like, when are you going on a mission or when are you putting your papers in? And then what temple are you getting married in? Those kind of questions. So kind of making assumptions that somebody's going to go on a mission because that's like the next step maybe that you would think, right? Or whatever, or assuming somebody's going to get married in the temple. What are your thoughts on that?
Do I think that you and I are going to tell our daughter that she needs to either go on a mission and get married? No.
Do you think people should go up to youth and ask those questions?
I don't think the marriage thing should be asked, no. But when it comes to a mission, I don't feel like it's an unfair thing to ask.
I think you could ask in a different way. I mean, you don't have to say, when are you putting your papers in or when are you going on a mission? You could just say, so like, what are the next steps for you? What are you thinking? You know, instead of kind of assuming that they're for sure going to go on a mission. But that's just me. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just think that there's some people that, even males, that they maybe don't want to talk about that. And it's uncomfortable if they're really not thinking about going. And if you kind of just put that out there, I don't know. I just think it's just good to be careful with assumptions, you know, and assuming that someone's going to get married in the temple too, because...
Is that how you feel about it?
Yeah, I think it is a lot of pressure on youth, you know, and I think especially when you're single and say you're single like I was for a good amount of time, I think it can be really daunting to go to family functions and be around like adults, like you said, boomers. And that's the questions that you're constantly getting over and over again. Like, do you have a boyfriend? So what's going on? Like, I know why people ask that. Like, they care, they want to know. Sometimes people don't have good intentions though, I feel like, and they're just kind of prying and they want to know if you're actually going to go on a mission, if you're actually going to get married in the temple. Cause I feel like there's judgment there.
So she's saying that her ick is the cultural expectation of guys going on missions and girls getting married soon.
I don't even know if it's the expectation. I think it's just the assumption, like just going straight into that when you probably could just make it more open-ended, you know? But
I mean, I feel like people are getting married later now, though. I feel like that's a thing that's happening right now.
Oh, no, I know. I was just directing it more towards assuming they're going to get married in the temple.
Oh.
Or assuming that a youth is going on a mission.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, I figured like if somebody wanted me to know that they were going to get married in the temple, they'd probably tell me.
Yeah. But I do think I will say this, we live in a society and culture that people get very offended easily, you know? Because I feel like I had to deal with those kind of questions, which it did bother me and it was annoying. But I'm saying, just say somebody asks that. It's just probably better to just think the best of somebody, right? And just not get too offended and take it personally.
Do you feel like it's a cultural thing that's like continuing on? Like, do you feel like people our age, when they're adult, or when we're adults, or we are adults, when we have kids that are that age, do you feel like we're going to ask those questions like our generation would? Because I don't know that they would.
No. And the thing that's interesting is I've had this conversation with my mom, and she is a boomer. Mm-hmm. And she told me that she felt like she wanted to really try hard when she was around youth to ask them other questions other than marriage and mission, that type of thing. Like, she would say, what books are you reading? You know, like, what are you into these days and stuff like that. Like, I'm just saying it's just a good conversation to have and a lot of people to think about. Like, maybe we should just talk about other things than putting so much pressure on youth to get married. Or, yeah, you know what I mean?
I agree with the youth married one. I don't know that I completely agree with the mission one. I think I wouldn't say it that way.
Yeah.
I don't like how it's said, but I don't disagree with the cultural expectation of guys going and serving missions.
Yeah.
Like I've told you before, I feel like a part of being a man and like good masculinity is developing a healthy relationship with obligation. Because as a man, if you're going to provide and you're going to protect, you can't do that in this world and at this time without having a good relationship with obligation and learning to do things that maybe you don't feel like doing. You know, like not letting your emotions control whether or not you choose to do something. And that's something that you can learn from a mission in a way. I'm not saying that you should go on a mission if you really, really don't want to. But what I am saying is that it's okay for guys to feel pressure around that age. I don't think it's inappropriate at all.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Okay, so the next one, this is just the very last question, but this was more in the comments. And this topic comes up a lot, and we could probably talk about this in more detail on another episode, but just people caring so much about garments and like what underwear you're wearing and looking for them and, you know, just commenting on if someone's wearing their garments or not. Like, I don't know, just controversial. What are your thoughts on that?
Just sounds like this chick doesn't want to live in Utah to me.
I don't know. I think she's lived in other places than just Utah. So
I don't know. I've never felt like people are looking at me for my garments. The only time that anybody's ever commented on me not wearing garments was my grandmother when we were in Cancun, Mexico, and I was going to the pool. And she's like, "Aren't you going to wear your garments?" I'm like, "No, I'm getting in the pool."
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Or I was walking around like with like a shirt on, like one of those like tank top things. And I didn't have my garment on, but I was going to get in the pool, and she was just confused. I don't know. Like I'm not like trying to blame older generations, but I genuinely feel like there's cultural things that are attached to generational ideas and generational like habits. And then they're not really representative of us, and they're probably not going to be representative of Gen Z and onward. You know, like there's things that are changing about the church, and culture changes all the time. I think that, I don't know, I don't think it's going to be that big of a problem in the future.
Interesting. I think as a male, though, I mean, this topic has come up a lot, but I just feel like the garments for males are really similar to like a t-shirt and boxers. And so it's really, I don't know, just not as easy to tell if a guy is wearing them or not. I feel like it's more, to me, has been a lot more directed to women because it's just a lot easier to tell but the thing that's interesting is I've seen this a lot on the internet. Like people talk about how depending on, you know, your weight and your height and the type of garments that you wear, they could hit you in a totally different spot than somebody else, depending on like your torso and your legs. You know what I'm saying? And so
I do think I think it's nobody's business.
Yeah.
It's between you and God.
Yeah. And like my mom has always said this, like your decision to wear them or to not wear them only really affects you, you know? And so if you're struggling with that or it's hard for you, like you said, it is between you and God. And I think it's just maybe like second nature sort of to kind of wonder, you know, when someone's gone through the temple and they've been married and you kind of know that they should be wearing the garments, to be confused maybe, right? When you see that. But I think it's just better to like lean more on the side of just let them do what they're going to do. And it's not, like you said, it's not really your business, anyone's business, because it's their covenants. And I don't know, I just think we put too much thought into it because like it really is so personal, you know, and it's just not really black and white for everybody, which is interesting. But I think something I've seen with the boomer generation, I feel like a lot of things inside of the church that we believe and do, it is black and white for them. So they're really confused. Like, this is what we do. We wear them, you know, morning and night. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I think that there's sometimes where maybe somebody feels more comfortable to not wear them in a certain situation. Like they are in a pageant maybe, you know, or they're in this type of situation where they feel like I'm not going to wear it because I'm in this, I don't know, pageant, or I don't know, like this is my job. I'm a model or something. Right. And there's just a lot of nuances in certain cases where we just might not fully understand somebody's thought process, you know? And so I think it's just better to kind of, you do you know?
Just mind your business.
Yeah. Yeah. That was pretty much it. So that's our X for the day.
I really don't feel like, I'm not really bothered. I mean, I don't agree with them, but it's not something I'm offended by. If somebody is judging me for not wearing my garments, I could care less what they think.
Yeah.
Because I don't value their opinion because I don't know them.
True. Yeah.
You know, so I could see how it's like it's not a positive aspect of culture, but I don't think it's like ground shatteringly detrimental.
I think if you're at peace too with like your decision, you know, a lot of the time I think you can just kind of stand firm in that. And because I don't know, I've struggled at times where I don't know, like through pregnancy, it is really hard to wear garments. And I know there's a lot of women who resonate with that. either, you know, it's uncomfortable, it's
Do they
hot.
have maternity garments?
Yeah, they have maternity garments. But I'm just saying, like, if somebody, you know, questioned me or said something to me, like you said, I feel like I would be at peace with explaining where I'm at and what I'm struggling with maybe at that time. And if they can't see that, then that's okay. You know, I just think like when you're really at peace and it's like you don't have to prove anything, right? You know, and maybe they might not understand it and that's okay. You know, I think sometimes it just is situational, like I said, and we might not fully agree with somebody, and that's okay. You just agree to disagree and just live your life, you know, and it's truly just between you and God, like we said. So,
Yep.
Okay. Well, that was a little crazy. We had a lot of topics.
That was a super random episode.
Yeah, we had a lot of topics on that one. But thanks so much, everyone, for the continual support. And yeah, just rate, subscribe, review on Spotify and Apple, and keep sharing. And like I said, at any time, you know, anybody wants to send us ideas for topics or any thoughts about what we've talked about, would love to hear from any of you. Just email us. And thanks again for following and supporting us. And welcome to the zoo.